employer, who sponsor my venue here. So we are a company. We are working mostly on Linux and open source projects, and Tizen is one of them. And we are working for Intel as contractor. We are an active team, and we are located in France, in western France, in Brittany. And if you care about Tizen, we've got other speech about it. So I'm not the only one who's speaking about Tizen here. And now, Tizen, what is this Tizen? Actually, Tizen is something, it's a project which is belongs to the Linux Foundation. This means Linux Foundation is a copyright holder of all the stuff and so on. It is an open source project, but it is supported by some industrial. Intel and Samsung are the two of them, the big ones. But not only them, there are also operators and hardware vendors, car manufacturer. A lot of people are pushing this project to have a common ground to build products and stuff like this. And we are also a community. If you compare to open source community, I can say it's working quite the same. We've got some online resources to share information, to talk about subject, and to try to coordinate ourselves. And there is some IRC channel where there is a lot of people over there. Not very, don't say too much, but you can find us there. There have been some, maybe for the 2 or 3 past years, a lot of events. I remember when I was in Fosdem 2 years ago, someone was introducing the Tizen project just after the end of the Migo project. There was something to going on, and we didn't know at that time if it was real or not. And if I'm real, this project is real. So, and there are a lot of people online. We are talking about Tizen because they believe that Linux should fit in a phone, a real Linux. I think Selfish OS is something really great. I have great respect for this stuff, but as I said, this is not mainline Linux because it fits on Android BSP. So this is a little difference. And of course, there is a worldwide developer and contributors. I've been enabled in these 5 minutes to talk with someone from Italy, from Korea, and from Bulgaria. So this is a worldwide project, not something typically in this one country. So this is good. So, do you have some big glasses? This is the story of Tizen. I will not start to say what is inside each bubble one per one, but this is the story of Linux distribution. It started maybe a decade ago. There were different projects, and all these projects were stopped, but they never stopped because after the end of one project, one other offspring is going on. And Tizen is, if you look just one step in the past, it's a result of when Nokia went away on the Migo project. Samsung replaced him and still working on with Tizen, with Intel. This is just what you have to remember. Nokia is not part of the Linux anymore, so we have to find a replacement at the time. And Samsung has some projects in Linux for a while now also. So Tizen was making sense at that time. So Tizen is not a single product. This is an architecture where you can have several profiles and the same ground, the same base. So at the moment we have only 2 profiles, which is a cell phone and IVI, in-car computer. There are some stuff specific to mobile and stuff specific to IVI, but there is a lot of in common, so it would be stupid to have 2 separate projects when you can share the base. And at the same time, it can be derived to many use. So at the moment, there are some cameras which are sold by Samsung, which are running Tizen software inside it, and you don't know even about it. They didn't even market it, but that's true. So if you look at the news, I want to put the Tizen everywhere as I can. So now today, there have been two major releases of Tizen. The first one was introducing a web API. This means you can create application using JavaScript and make them running on the device and access to every component. This means connectivity, sensor, and so on. And the second version, which was in February this past year, was introducing on the mobile platform native API, because there was a possibility to run native API, so it was normalized at the time. And there have been 3 releases in this year, 2.0, 2.1, and 2.2.1. And so the project is still alive and going on. And at the end of the past year, the project switched to open development. This is a big difference, because in the past, there was a lot of suspicion on the Tizen project, because it was more like a code drop project and not something community driven. And I think, and I don't know because I wasn't involved in the decision, but if you have something valid, you can go on by opening after and not at the beginning. So public, everything is public. The source are in Git, so you feel free to check out and pull the change in real time. We are using tools for reviewing and discussing. So now the project itself, the next release of Tizen, is visible today. Also at that time there have been some projects we are hosting to the Tizen project of other technology like Qt5. This is not part of the design of Tizen, but someone did it, so there was no reason to put it outside. If it's working, I'm pretty sure someone will have to use it. So in the future, there is the third version of Tizen. We will add other features, like multi-user. On the phone, maybe that's not very relevant, but on a car, you can imagine multiple users of the same system. This means different use case. And of course, we want to realign upstream projects. We are following them. We are not forking them. And of course, Wayland. So why another Linux distro? We have got a zillion of them already, so why one more? My Carsten Munk, who was speaking here the previous talk, said it's pretty difficult to have a full Linux support on hardware. But Tizen, since it was supported by hardware vendor, it can provide this. So this means a lot for driver developers and so on. As I said in the past slide, we've got one base and several verticals. This means the project has a design to be to create derived products. This is something not monolithic. This is designed to be expandable. There's also a lot of investment into security. We want to have something secure. This means secure for the user, secure for the system, and secure for the integrator. If you are talking about putting Linux on car, you expect it to be secure. If your car takes fault and you cannot drive, it's a problem. Of course, connectivity is part of the system, and also the power management and so on. This is something tricky, and when you've got support from hardware people, it's better for the reliability of the project. And there is some API to build application, web application mostly, because there is a belief that making application should be simpler, and there is no reason to create them into native languages if you can do in JavaScript. This is kind of the way of history now. And not the other point, the UI need to be very responsive, so as a date of today, the toolkit used was EFL, which is pretty efficient. And this is mandatory for creating products. And as I said, the main difference now, this is we are using upstream projects, and we try to follow them as much as we can. This means, well, you know about it. This means freedom and sharing effort on project and so on. So I won't detail everything, but this is a diagram of Tizen architecture, but the mobile profile. So if you care about application, at the top you will see only two boxes. This means you can use one of those to create application. And as I said, everything is exposed. This means there is no limitation about using every feature of the system. So each service is associated to a subset of API and security also. Now the question someone will ask, so here is a question now. When are we going to get Tizen device? And at the moment, we only have, for the mobile, only reference the devices. But if you have a look at the news, there are also some products ready to be shipped. So I don't know, it does not depend of developers of the project. This is marketing decision and so on. So I would, if you care about it, watch what is going to be shown at Barcelona at the Mobile World Congress. This is this month. And you can install IVI instance of Tizen on supported device. So this means you can actually work on it. And there is other projects. We are not part of the project, but this morning, no, not this morning, just in the beginning of the afternoon, Leon showed his own Tizen. He just ported to his hardware, which is a ARM board, and he made a proof of concept tablet. So, and he was doing this in silent. So this is possible. This means if he was able to do it, this means there is no missing point to. It's quite easy because you are good. So if you have something to remember, there is one base and different profile. And the one I'm talking about, the base, this is also a Tizen, not a profile because we can say it is a profile, but it is available at the moment. So if you want to pick the base and start talking on it, you can do it. This is pretty new, and our team has been involved into this. So everything is available online. So for application developer, who in this room has ever created some application for mobile? And, okay. So who here has a home page or know how to write HTML5? HTML. Okay. So this is possible for you. If you're able to create a web page, you can imagine you can create some web Tizen application. So why HTML5 is the proposed API? Because as I said earlier, JavaScript is going very, 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 very wide, and everything is in JavaScript. So we have you have to learn it, because in desktop you have JavaScript, in Qt you have JavaScript, and there is also Node.js and so on. This is a pretty wide used language now. And Tizen web runtime is pretty good because it was at the lead of all the HTML5 tests this past year. And every API are available in JavaScript, so this means you can create a cross-platform application. So if you create some application in JavaScript, you can have it running on Tizen, but with a minor adaptation, you can also run it on Firefox OS and BlackBerry WebWorks, and every system who has a runtime system, a web runtime. So for the developer, it means you don't have to create the application as many platforms you want to target. If you are lazy, this is something not to miss. So to create application, there is a tool which is based on Eclipse. So one editor and one emulator and simulator. This means you have everything to create an application and to test it. And there are some command line tools if you want to use it with your favorite editors. It's also possible. And at the end, you will produce a package ready to be pushed on the store and ready to be installed on the devices. So for the API, I said JavaScript. This means standardized language, and all the API are standardized by W3C consortium. And for those who are not in the standard, there is a subset command which are the Tizen API. And if you're looking at C++, also there are some API, but those ones are not standardized. But if some of them know about previous BADA platform from Samsung, it's quite similar. So you don't have to learn something very new. And you can mix HTML5, JavaScript, and C++ application. If you know about Android GNI interface between Java and native code, it's something similar. So if you want to use other system or other frameworks, maybe Qt 5 maybe, you have, at that time, you have to build your own Tizen platform because it's not supported. So here's the SDK. So now let's focus on the core stuff. So the development is quite standard. This means continuous integration. We have a bug tracker when you can request feature or alerts for some bugs and so on. And we have some tools to build the packages. All the software is split into several packages. GBS is a tool we are using. It is something mixing Git build package, if you know about it. So this is a tool based on Git, which is downloading the component and building the stuff. Every patches are pushed on stream and reviewed by other developers. And every change, or every hour, or every day, or every week, a new release of the system is available. This means you can expect your change to get in a release candidate very fast. So I said that the project switched to open governance. So there are several roles who are working in the project. I won't detail all those steps, but if you are contributing to the project, you will be a developer. This means you will have something to share, and other people will take or give you some feedbacks if the change is good or not. And if it's okay, you can expect it to be in the product. Of course, you have to be patient and to be proactive because this is a very large project, so you know, if you want to have your stuff in, you have to take care of it. So basically, if you want to start doing this, just create an account on the infrastructure system. You can upload your SSH key, and if you have to learn Git if you're not comfortable with it, and you can pull the code and try to build and eventually patch and submit some contribution. If you don't know how to share your stuff, use a backtracker. This is someone who will help you to go the right way. And if you want to create some Tizen derivatives, there is a talk about it from my colleague Stefan, which is just in front of me here. Tomorrow, if something, he will detail the process. So basically, you can use existing profile of Tizen. This means the version you will be able to download, and you can just adapt and replace some packages and so on. And at the end, there is a tool we are using, which is Mick, which is coming from Migo. Mick is Migo image creator. And using this tool, you can join the packages together and make a product. And if you want to create your own profile, I don't know if someone is planning to create a Tizen plane or whatever, this is possible also, but you should go to Stefan talk. So if you want to cooperate, I put this slide because the Tizen project is very based on upstream projects. This means if you don't really want to dig into the Tizen project, you can contribute to it by helping upstream project. This means if you're able to add feature on Wayland, do it. Please don't. We will use your fix also. Xorg is not planned into Tizen 3, but this is a project we was used in Tizen 2. And for the UI, you can EFL is a project which is supported by Tizen at the moment. And for the web runtime, every project based on WebKit and WebKit 2 and going on is the root of the web runtime. So I met some JavaScript developer at some contest, and every of them has a different JavaScript framework, and it was working fine on Tizen. So this means this is the goal of portability of JavaScript. But if you want to add support to your JavaScript framework, please do it. And of course, there is a lot of common components between projects like Mer, which is Sailfish OS now. If you were there just before, you see there are many components. So this means if you're fixing a bug over there, you can also fix it Tizen side, and the opposite. So I'm open to all questions now. It's okay? No time for questions. But anyway, if you have some question, I'll be there for some minutes, and you can ask them at other talk tomorrow. There are maybe 3 different talks. You said no time for question. Okay, I will answer outside if you want.
Time for the next speaker. Unless my phone is giving me